You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Sakal Bhatt, and shifting focus to what's happening in France. Now, France, we know, is facing a period of tremendous amount of political instability after the country's left-wing coalition was projected to win a surprise victory in the snap legislative election. But the new Popular Front has won the highest number of seats, but it is likely to fall short of a majority. Now, in the 577-seat assembly, the Left Alliance got 182 seats. Macron's centrist alliance secured 168 seats, while Le Pen's National Rally, which was initially pegged at number one, won 143 seats. The results were a shock after the far-right National Rally party won the first round of voting last week, but came third in Sunday's runoff vote. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Gabriel Attal has offered his resignation to President Emmanuel Macron after his party failed to win a majority in these elections. Meanwhile, joy and relief swept over supporters as the leftist alliance called New Popular Front has defied all surveys and took the top spot. Thousands of demonstrators have gathered in Paris to protest against the far right. The protesters clashed with the police as well. The election will leave Parliament divided into three big groups now, namely the leftist, the centrist and the far right, with hugely different platforms and no tradition at all of working together. So let's quickly go across live to DD India's Ross Collin, who joins us live from Paris. So Ross, first things first, let's talk about the new Popular Front, which seems to be very popular, looking at the numbers, the way they've defied surveys, taking the pole position and a divided parliament. What happens now?
Well, I mean, it's political paralysis. What happens now? We have no way of knowing the clear view forward because no party has a majority. There are so many things that could happen. We might have a change of Prime Minister. The Prime Minister might be remaining in charge of a caretaker administration. There could be a national unity government. There could be a government of technocrats. There could be a minority left-wing government. There could be a coalition if the centrists and the left-wing come together. There is no clear way forward because the National Rally, who were projected to finish first, they have finished third. Emmanuel Macron's party have clawed back their position to finish second, and this surprise victory for the umbrella coalition, four left-wing parties running as one, running as the New Popular Front, they are in pole position and they are already calling for Emmanuel Macron to appoint a prime minister from their group.
Okay, so in a situation of this fractured verdict, so to say, is it going to be a difficult or an uphill task for the Popular Front to get its numbers right, to get its mathematics right, so to say, that they are the ones who will form the next government in France?
Yeah, we've had this calls already by Jean-Luc Mélenchon, who is this firebrand figure who founded the far-left party France Unbowed. He is saying that Emmanuel Macron must either resign or change Prime Minister immediately for somebody from his umbrella alliance. However, that alliance is made up of four parties, one of which is the mainstream centre-left socialists. They have already started to distance themselves from Mr. Mélenchon, perhaps calling for a more moderate left-wing Prime Minister to be named by President Macron. It is tradition that the Prime Minister comes from the biggest party. That's why Gabriel Attal, the President's Prime Minister at the moment, comes from his party. But now that Macron is in second, you would think traditionally the next Prime Minister would be coming from the left wing, but whether the left wing can coalesce around one figure, they managed to come up with this alliance in time for the lightning campaign of 3 weeks. Can they come up with an agreement on who the Prime Minister could be if it were to come from the left? We do know that there are some things that are set in stone. The new deputies, the new MPs will be arriving here in Paris from across the country, across France's overseas territories as well, today Monday and tomorrow Tuesday, to start to take up their positions, for new MPs to start to learn all about the inner workings of the National Assembly as well before they meet for their first official session in public, which will be the 18th of July. But there's a lot of water to pass under the bridge before then. A lot of confusion because no one party has a majority. It is hard to see the exact way forward, but President Macron says that he will be considering all options and will not be rushed into a decision.
Okay, very interesting situation emerging. I'm not sure if anybody could have even assumed that something like this will pop up in terms of numbers there, the way the numbers are stacked. Lastly, Ross, what is the latest on the protest demonstrations and clashes which we have seen spilling over the streets? These elections have clearly mobilized the civil society.
Yeah, we did see some clashes last night, very late on Sunday night, local time here in Paris. There was a great demonstration in terms of size, a large demonstration in Place de la République, one of the key squares in France, in Paris, when it comes to mass mobilizations. A lot of the left wing were gathering there. There was a feeling that they were going to demonstrate against the results because they feared that the National Rally would win a majority. But in the end, it became a bit of a celebration party because the new Popular Front did so well. And then some of the scenes that we did see spilling over, there were some shops around here, banks being boarded up just in case there was a wider unrest on Sunday night. We did see a pretty violent campaign the week previously in between the first round and the decisive runoff on Sunday, with some 50 candidates and activists suffering aggression, according to the Interior Ministry, including one of Emmanuel Macron's MPs. One of her staffers suffered a broken jaw in one attack. So there were these incidences and a climate of violence leading into the decisive second round, and then we did see some of those clashes, as you say, between police and demonstrators on Sunday evening.
All right, Ross Cullen, thank you very much as of now for joining us live from Paris on French elections and the uncertainty.